In this regards, as we go forth, the hyperdimensional hadronic horizon is summarized. 3D space symmetry collapses at 10 to the minus 13 of a centimeter in the atom. From that point onwards, the laws of physics no longer operates. The laws of quantum mechanics no longer operates. The Minkowskian space-time symmetry no longer operates. For those who are very old-fashioned, who still believe in the Riemann metric tensor, Riemann symmetry also collapses at 10 to the minus 13 centimeter in endless experiments. This is called the hadronic horizon. The hadronic horizon is a hyperdense medium which is hyperlocal, meaning that it is local in the heart of every atom everywhere as a singular infinite rigid state. It is hypertemporal, that means of course it is past, present and future, everywhere and everywhen. It is hyperspatial, that means it is multidimensional. You've got the etherion, which is the first fundamental hadronic particle that is not reducible at all to three-dimensional particles and appears to be the all-one particle behind all fundamental particles. It is hyperrelative, so that hyperrelativity goes and supersedes Einstein's relativity is then has special exceptions and applies in certain places, such as in the quantum horizon, 10 to the minus 9 of a centimeter. The new understanding then, through hadronic mechanics, is that the electron sphere overlaps the supermassive hadron proton. The hadron proton is the hyperdense media, is within the hyperdense media. Where they overlap and then decouple, they produce the so-called neutron. The neutron is simply the overlapping of these two, and this is one of the big cover-ups of modern science. We're told that, electrons, protons, when they combine together, voila, they become a neutron. And that they can, again, decay and become electrons and protons. Well, there's a certain amount of energy required for that conversion, which is not dealt with at all, and hadronic mechanics has dispelled that misnomer. That is an energy politics, really. This is religious dogma politics. It has nothing to do with science. Real science, anyway, is largely clandestine. So in the heart of our atoms, we have not 3D, not 4D, but hyperdimensionality. The nature of what we are is something completely other to what we thought before. Something very exciting. Something that we have begun to experience through the shamanic apotheosis. We're in a gradual, collective cognosis, an apotheosis, an epiphany with our macro, irreversible, hyper archetype or operator. So, within the heart of the atom, long before the proton already, we have a medium that's even superluminal, hyperdense, that is local everywhere and everywhen. Any interaction with that medium is an interaction with everything, everywhere and everywhen, in any galaxy, in every galaxy, in any planet, in every planet, past, present, and future in this universe, in every being, in any being, past, present, and future in this universe, in every molecule, as one with every molecule, past, present, and future in this universe, and extra-dimensional aspects of this. This is the new empirical knowledge and understanding that we need to digest, and when we do digest it, and we need to do that enthusiastically to bring in the entheogenesis and enthusiasm, then indeed we have revisioned our world as we know it. We're on the cusp of that. It is irreversible. Hadronic mechanics is mainstream. It will also reverse all radioactivity, although that's too politically hot now. Here we see the overlapping hadron orbitals in the hadronic horizon. They, in fact, this is called the iso-hypersphere, but in fact they overlap through infinity. So this is a two-dimensional representation of an infinite overlap in the hadronic horizon. The hadronic horizon with the hadronic force then being the molecular binding force of DMT, or the 212 atoms of harmine, 188 atoms of DMT. These are brought together by this infinity present. That means each molecule is a unique quality of the whole universe. There's a force in the whole universe that in DMT, let's say, we take the 188 configurations. There is a molecular binding force between them, the 188 electrons. That configuration is a force throughout the universe that gives a specific pattern, a pattern that can be seen like a quality, an archetype, that is an underlying principle of the whole universe. So the molecules that are active personify an underlying living principle of the whole universe. So you come in contact with that underlying principle of the whole universe through interacting with the hadronic force. When we are working with psychoactive molecules, I think it is important to at least have some amounts of the 8 Hz molecules. We've done research with other molecules than ayahuasca, but adding a small amount of drops, let's say of a tincture, an extract of the soma plants, of harmine-rich material, creates a balance in the experience between brain hemispheres, because some of these molecules may take you more into a 12 Hz state or more of a theta state. It's good to have that theta alpha state, the central nuclear magnetic resonation frequency that the penoline, harmaline, ayahuasca, somahuasca molecules instill. And in the Vedas, in fact, it is said that King Soma enables all of these ancient intelligences of the plants then to communicate together and to find a congruent concerto, a symphony of the universe, so to speak. The 7 hadrons plus 1, which is the Etherian, then are in infinite hyperdimensional recursion in the atom from 10 to the minus 13 of a centimeter. They are of a hyperdensity, including superluminality, or faster than light, and are hyperpresent everywhere and everywhen. Interaction by 8 cycles per second with the hadronic horizon, therefore, is interaction with a hyperpresent everywhere and everywhen. Thereby, the experience of other times, of other spaces, the uncanny ability to be able to see into one's ancestry, specific details of one's ancestry, or things not related to oneself at all, but which turn out to be accurate as you describe it to someone who you meet later, who you realize by some deja vu that you had seen in a shamanic session. These phenomena, which many of you will have experienced, and it takes a while to bring into words, now make logical sense. And again, we highly suggest that one studies the new dogma-breaking monographs of Centilli on hadronic mechanics, with or without psychedelics or anything that will get you through there. I do think that it is exciting to learn with new parts of one's brain. I know that there are people who have learned German in just one LSD session. That's incredible. It was probably quite difficult, but the person learned German with a strong dose LSD and prepared the room everywhere with the language pages, and had a CD with hemisync of the German language. and so went through ego death and was born again.